Hi everybody, welcome to the PA Hub Digital Events, and today we have with us innovation experts. They are talking all things AI, and thank you for joining us.
So we've got Dan.
Hello.
And Harriet.
Hi.
And Matt. And some of you will know that Matt is my son. He's working with innovation experts on this project at the moment. And I'm really looking forward to today because AI is a huge thing in the technical world at the moment. What are we going to be talking about today?
Well, yeah, I guess we're just going to introduce you to AI. Maybe some of you used it before, but we just want to go over what's important at the moment, what things are coming up, and what does it mean for you as a PA? Like, how can you integrate into the AI world?
Yeah, and a lot of the content actually is based on your insights. So anyone that filled out the survey, we are actually answering those questions and those common needs. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So how did you guys come about? Just briefly, if you can tell us, please.
Yeah, so I mean, actually all of us have a lot of background in helping organizations with software and operations and these sort of things. And, for a long time, it's been something that is often challenging for organizations to use new tools and change the way that they're doing things. And technology in general, just I feel like it hasn't delivered so well on its promise to make our lives easier and give us more free time to do what we want, right? And it really feels like AI has that opportunity, and the learning curve with a lot of these things is really quite low. It becomes quite intuitive once you get the hang of it. So I just kind of got excited about, or we all did, about helping people learn these tools and use them and reap the benefits of more free time and focusing more on the human connection.
For me, when I first heard of AI and saw how it was affecting technology today and humans' lives today, at first it can be quite overwhelming. But if you start doing it bit by bit, I found myself really starting to enjoy the venture and starting to use more here and there. So yeah, I'm really excited to share some of our learnings today to help you in your roles.
Thanks for that, Harriet. And Matt, do you have to be a super tech person to understand AI at this point, do you think?
I don't think so. And I'm from a tech background, and I found it overwhelming when it first came about, thinking, oh man, that's going to be a big thing to learn. But I think it's as a baby learns to walk, it seems like the impossible task until you can do it. And when you delve into it, you realize it's actually really easy. It's I feel like AI has removed this barrier between tech world and just being able to communicate as a normal person.
Yeah.
So it's become once you actually dive into it and with a little bit of instruction, you'll pick up the rest of it yourself very easily. Yeah. It's surprisingly easy.
Wow. Well, that just remains for us to say, Harriet, Matt, Dan, thank you for joining us today, and let's crack on with the session.
Yeah.
Great.
Yay.
Let's get started.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into it. We're excited today, as we said, to help you learn more about AI and embrace it, and yeah, help you feel comfortable talking about it, give you a better understanding, and give you some great tools that you can start using to implement.
Great, let's go on this adventure together. Okay, so what we're going to talk you through today, we touched on it briefly in the intro, is that a lot of this is actually formed based on the feedback we got from you. So thank you so much for filling out that survey. So we'll quickly run through the insights from your feedback, give you some general knowledge about AI, help build your confidence, and then we'll dive into some specific tools that you can start using right away.
So one of the things that we want to talk about straight away is that AI isn't something that you need to be scared of. It's something that can integrate into your life, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. So some people think that they're scared AI might take their job, but AI isn't going to take your job.
but somebody who can use AI might take your job. So we want to like just dissolve those illusions that you have of it, and help you understand that AI can fit into all of your current workflows, and it's going to make a lot of things a lot easier.
For sure.
So one of the things that I use as an example is like when the internet came about, people were saying like, oh, this is going to replace newspapers. It's like, no, it's just changing the tool that we're using, the format that we're using.
Yeah.
And it's just making it more accessible and easily accessible and faster.
Yeah, this is what AI is really doing, is lowering the barriers for so many things. Just so many tools that allow information and research and so many different things that, you know, creativity that can so easily be acted on now for people. So it's actually, it's really amazing, like the opportunities for people to, you know, make their dreams and their creative passions come to life.
So let's have a look at the insights from the feedback we got from you guys.
Thanks again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been the basis really of this content. So yeah, thank you. So you all really wanted a more general knowledge in AI. So we're going to run you through that today. Also more confidence, just being able to talk about it and like start experimenting. So we're going to go look at that. Then how do you find these tools and how do you implement those? So we'll talk you through that.
How to use things safely.
Yeah. And then finally, we're going to get into some detailed research that we've done on your 2 hot topics, which took you guys the most time, and hopefully give you ways how to streamline that. So that's minute taking and calendar management.
All right, so now we want to kind of help you get a general understanding of AI and what it actually is, and also tell you about some amazing ways that it's just already having global impact in like so many ways. Sometimes ways people aren't even expecting it to. It's like coming up with new things on its own. It's pretty incredible. So it's more than just like, okay, it's going to help me write a blog post. You know, it's really going to be impacting and doing good really in so many areas. So this is an image of a drone that has a camera, and the camera goes into the AI system, and it's noticing apples, and it's using this little arm that it has to pick apples. So this is where, like in agriculture, things that you just, you know, you're like, wow, we're really kind of getting into the future here, are starting to happen. I also read a story where there is like a large machine that is driving down rows of crops and has lasers and cameras, and the AI is using the lasers to kill the weeds. Instead of needing to spray pesticides, they're able to kill weeds in mass with this AI-assisted little zapper.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So there's other areas of the world like healthcare and skincare in particular. There's problems that people are having that we put so much chemicals in everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
And somebody came up with the idea of you give them a product that you're using, and then it can just analyze all the things that it's using and recommend things that aren't chemical or aren't going to be bad for your skin. There's more natural products that's going to be better for the earth and better for your skin.
Yeah, yeah. Helping reformulate all of these things. And yeah, and then of course in the digital world, in so many ways. And we're going to talk, you know, a bit more about that as we go on.
So I guess most of you will have heard of ChatGPT. That tends to be like the conversation starter for most people. If you haven't used it in your day-to-day life, I recommend just go on it and just ask it random questions, even if it's not work-related. Just get to know it, because actually it seems like this scary thing that you'll put off, but actually you realize actually anybody can use it. It's just like having a conversation with a person.
Yeah.
And so that's just like a chatbot, and you can feed it in things, but actually the skill for using things like ChatGPT is learning how to talk to it and how to get the most out of it, and realizing that it's not just a one question, because it's got to learn what you want. So the more you feed it, the more it's going to give you the thing that you want.
Yeah, and this is the case with ChatGPT. It's what's called a large language model. So it has almost too much information. It knows so much that you need to get it to sort of narrow itself down and act in a certain way. You know, do you want it to act like a researcher or like somebody that's, you know, working in marketing or sales? So you need to kind of give it some input so that it knows like how you want it to communicate, what kind of information you want it to share. And so AI is interesting because I think in some ways it kind of started different than other technology because it started actually very, very broad. And I think what we're going to see over time is things will get sort of narrower. You'll get smaller models of AI that are designed and built for specific tasks. And so a version of that is kind of happening now. Most of the programs that are out there, the tools, they're using ChatGPT, and then they're already giving the AI some specific instructions. Okay, act like a marketing, you know, blog writer. So you go to something like Jasper or some of these other content generation websites that are good for content marketing, and they've kind of given the AI some instructions ahead of time, so it's easier for you to just jump in and use it for those specific purposes.
And then there's other tools like you've got Midjourney. If you haven't heard of this one, you've probably seen it. If you haven't heard of it,
Yeah, you've probably seen some stuff.
So this is where you feed into it that you like anything that you can imagine. Like I want you to draw a giraffe riding on the back of an elephant, and it'll make some images for you.
Yeah. Or what did Einstein look like as a DJ?
Yeah. And so like what that does is it's going to give you 4 pictures, and then you can, again, it's about this conversation that we have with the AI and teaching it what you actually want it to be like, because maybe the first thing it generates is not quite right. So you have when you're given these 4 options, you could be like, that's kind of the right direction, and it'll regenerate things that are like that.
Yeah.
But further to that, maybe it didn't quite give you what you want. So you realize that you could get more descriptive with what you want. Like, say like you want it to be in the style of a famous painter. Like you go, oh, okay, I want it to be in the style of Salvador Dali. Because I'm weird. and yeah, so you can use this for all kinds of things. People use it for content generation and even for like logos or coming up with stuff like this.
Yeah. And there's some ethical concerns about this, but I have a friend who's a quite well-established 3D artist, and it's just still new, and it's AI is reshaping the way that we look at human output and all sorts of things, and who owns what and so it's just like it's a constant sort of process of learning and checking in with ourselves. And these are all pretty much generative AI. So it's a type of AI that's generating some sort of content that you're getting back. So that's what you're going to mainly be interacting with when you're using any of these tools, is this kind of AI generative.
Yeah.
Other LLMs, again, LLM is large language model, what ChatGPT is. Facebook, Apple's working on one. Google has theirs as well. It's been renamed to Gemini. So there's other players in the space, that maybe weren't the first to market, but are gonna also be competing for your attention.
And you're starting to see, like in the latest generation of, like, say, Samsung's phones, this is now like it's interconnected into your phone. It's a part of your phone now.
Yeah. See it in like Facebook Messenger. They have a little icon there now. So yep, it's getting integrated into a lot of the systems.
We chatted about content generation in the last slide, and really just like hitting home about like learning how to speak with the machine to get the most out of it. Like the more specific you can be, the more it's going to give you what you get out. Like what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. Yeah. And especially like with when we talk about the art generation, like get very specific, give the mood, give the feeling, like
colors you want to see.
Yeah, every little detail. The more detail you give, the more it's going to be what you imagine in your brain.
Yeah, and that's kind of, the term is kind of prompt engineering, and so when you're typing in what you want, that's considered the prompt. So if you want to look at some ways to, some prompt examples or whatever, now you kind of know the term to Google. And what you're getting back, it's important to understand that a lot of these models have a hallucination problem, which basically means that sometimes they will create something, they'll just make up something to satisfy your question or your inquiry. So there's some prompt engineering you can do to kind of prevent that from happening. But just in general, it's a good reminder to, you know, double check if there's something that's critical that you've asked AI to create, some facts or something that you're going to use in, you know, any sort of critical situation. It's good to always double check and make sure that it's true. So, you know, doing a little of your own research as well. Again, this sort of 80-20 rule, you know, get it to do most of the bulk of your work, and then, you know, do that quality control last bit.
And that kind of hammers home this feeling that we're saying, like, it's not going to replace your role. It still requires this human on the other side to check it over, and so it's up to you to, if you want to work with this, to figure out like how to keep an eye out for what you need to check, what you need to go over. And like used to be like, could you give me a link for that? And they'd be like, oh no, sorry, I made that up.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're using it for research, now ChatGPT, there's a setting you go in and you click, and then it can access the internet. So then you can have it do research and tell you can, you know, tell it to include the links from where it's getting this information. Yeah, so that can be helpful.
And then I would actually advise to read those links, because also it is AI, so it doesn't have the same capabilities that we have. So like sometimes something that it's talking about maybe has come out of context.
Right.
I feel like the classic one was on an announcement that they because it's talking about something happening, it didn't realize that announcement meant that wasn't today that it was released. So there was some like dates that it would get wrong from the news stories.
It like summarizes something incorrectly. So yeah, kind of the two most used ways in like the digital world for AI right now is around content, you know, for social media, all this sort of things, and also chatbots, especially around like customer service. So this is something that we help our clients with, but there's really a lot of use cases for chatbots, because you can get that conversation and you can get answers about things. So you could have one, like lawyers use it now. They feed all of their documents for a case into a chatbot, and then they can ask it questions about the case, and then it will point them to where in the documents that is. So you can do some really cool things with it.
And even like extending the chatbots, you can put it into like Telegram, a messaging service, and you could set it up if you had a task that you do all the time, or maybe your CEO has like a task that they constantly need to give you to fill in a spreadsheet or something.
Yeah.
You could actually have the AI bot to ask those questions, and it automatically feeds into your Google account and it fills that spreadsheet out.
Yeah, there's so many cool customizations, and we're always helping people kind of figure out ways with AI that they can like just automate things in super cool ways.
Yeah. And research is actually like one of the really super time-saving thing. If you've got a big project where you've got to read a load and loads and loads and loads of news stories, and you've got to eventually write this big report on it.
Yeah.
I've had a few cases where this has just like saved me unbelievable amounts of time. So like what I would do is like, first of all, get an article that I actually have read, and I'd get it to like analyze this and get it to make a shortened version of it. And then I'd read and think, did that actually analyze what I wanted it to analyze? And then I'd start this feedback loop again of saying like, maybe you could talk more about this. Could you talk to me as if you were talking to my CEO? Like, all these kind of things that could help you like start getting it right. And then once you've got one right, then now you've trained your bot on how you want it to talk to you. So then you just
memory.
And then so now all you need to do is give it another link. And you're like, oh, talk about it like you just did. And then it's like, wow, it's just immediately giving me exactly what I want. So instead of reading another story, now you've got it explained in the language and the way that you want to have. And then I paste it 15 links, and it takes me as much as it took me for the one link.
And the limitations are starting to kind of get removed with this, because up until now or recently, you're kind of limited by how much input you have. So before, maybe you could upload like a 5 or 10 minute video, and the AI could process all the data of that video, and you could ask it questions or it could summarize. But now models are just like really increasing their capacity. I saw a recent headline they uploaded a movie that was like an hour and a half long, and they said, in this movie, does somebody take like a piece of paper out of their pocket, and what does it say on it? And it watched the whole movie and picked out the right scene, said, okay, this time, you know, the paper's taken out and this is what it says on it. And it's like, it's accurate, right? So like, yeah, the research is just incredibly, incredibly good. And it's getting even better. Yeah. Now we just want to talk a little bit about data protection and privacy and security in general around AI. Best practices about using technology in general kind of apply. So using tools that have proper, you know, security practices, certifications, this sort of thing, if you're going to be using or inputting sensitive data. Because AIs, the models are constantly learning from the input from users like you. So if you're using ChatGPT and you don't go in and there's a setting you can set, we'll have it in the show notes. If you don't go in and like specifically tell it to, it's going to take the data that you give it and use it to train the model and to improve things. So if you're writing a blog, you know, if you have somebody in your marketing department's writing a blog post, it's going to be public anyways. But if you have somebody with sensitive data, you know, or you have sensitive data, you need to be careful where you put that, because the AI model is going to learn from that. And, you know, it's not likely to leak like a specific, you know, number or email or something like that. You know, it probably won't be the case. But in general, you just want to be aware that, you know, this is how the models work.
So moving on from that, how can you be more confident? So I think it's really important to remember that everyone is still learning AI. It is changing. You're not left behind. So you can start small. If you haven't started playing with ChatGPT yet, give that a go. If there's a little tool that interests you, give that a go. But just start small, so you start the journey and you'll find yourself getting more confident as you go. It's also really important to monitor your thought patterns. So if you're thinking, I can't do this, it's too hard for me, then that's the neural pathways that will be
Created.
Thank you. I want to say skied because I think about them like ski paths, you know. So yeah, make sure you're thinking positively and create those new thought patterns that you can do this, and you just need to do it bit by bit. So really observe that inner voice. And then it's really important to celebrate your successes. So all too often in life, we're very keen to overthink some of the things that we haven't done or the things we haven't got right, but say, oh, I discovered a new tool today, or I tried at least. Yeah. So yeah, just jump in, have a play around, you know, and enjoy it. This is an adventure. We're all on this adventure together.
Yeah, and the thing about AI is it's not another human, but it is human-like. So imagine you have like a new project with somebody you've never met before, and you're both kind of learning, like, how are you going to work together? Who's going to do what? And, you know, if you are asking things of them and they don't quite understand, you know, they are malleable. They can respond as you know, correct them on the way that they're responding to you, and what the responses that are coming back from the AI. Yeah. You can be like, actually, I meant more like this. You know, it's like, it's a back and forth. It's not just like you try one thing and you get one static result, and that's what you're stuck with. It's a process.
It's a two-way thing.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So we've talked you through some general knowledge and hopefully like helped your confidence in some ways how to do that. So you're ready to get started. Where do you find these tools and how do you implement them?
So it's important to not get overwhelmed, I think, to start with a clear use case. So take something specific that you want to see if there's a way to use AI for, and really, like, before you start looking, you know, write down what that is so that you have something to kind of come back to, because you know, there's so much information and everything. It's easy to open 10 tabs and kind of get lost in different, you know, marketing tactics to pull you into different things. So that's, you know, just a reminder, a good way to start. Really try to think through, what are the steps, what are the, like, okay, I want a tool that helps me with calendar management, or I want a tool that helps me, you know, summarize meeting notes or whatever it is, and think through like all of the things that you want it to do before you start looking at tools. And then when you're ready, there's different resources, like websites that sort of aggregate all these different tools. The one that we really like is called There's an AI for That. And the reason why is because it's one of the most used. So it has a lot of social feedback. So people rate the different tools, they comment and say what they like or didn't like, and this sort of thing. So you can see a little bit of social proof around different things.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and when you are looking at these tools, like outside of like, does it do what I want? It's good to think about things like learning and support. So do they have a good help center? Do they have chat available? These sort of things, if you get kind of stuck, if you're not the best at, you know, just going into something completely new, this is super important. It also just shows that the software is like well thought out. The team behind it is like caring about what they're doing, and they really want to support people like using the tool well, and they're not just, you know, trying to make money from people signing up for the first month. And then, yeah, the next point, scalability and integration, kind of comes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Really think through like how you want the tool to work. Do you want it to integrate with any of your other tools that you use in your business, whether that's, you know, Google or something else, you know, Gmail, calendar, etc. So looking at those before you start to get into the tool and testing it out is good, so you don't waste your time. And then, yeah, as we said, user feedback and ratings, and then ideally something that you can test out for free and make sure it really works for you.
Great. So what does There's an AI for that look like?
So we have a way to show you.
Ta-da!
So yeah, it also has a good search that I believe is AI powered. So you can sort of ask an AI that's been trained on all of these different offers, different tools that they have listed, and get some help there with your search. So yeah, as we mentioned in the middle here, you can see the ratings, how many people have bookmarked it, and any comments. So that's the little social data there.
Yeah. This has really helped me. There's, you know, thousands and thousands of tools
There's too many.
there. Yeah.
There's too many.
So this website is actually, yeah, it's really good. Check it out.
Yeah. And that being said, like there's still so many tools, and you know, part of what we are offering for you guys in the service is that we're going to keep looking for things that are relevant and stay on top of like new feature releases in a lot of existing platforms and tools that aren't AI based but are starting to add AI. So a lot of platforms and software tools, kind of interchangeable terms, are adding AI in. So something that may not be showing up in There's an AI for that, but might be super helpful. You know, we're going to do our best to keep an eye out for those sort of updates and share them with you.
Great. So now you know where to find the tools. Which ones are you going to look for? So one of the really big things that came out from the feedback is that you'd really like to streamline minute taking. It's taking way too long at the moment. So we have done some of the hard work for you.
And we have great news.
We have great news. Yeah, so our process, we looked at existing non-biased research. There are some biased research out there, so you need to make sure if you do go look yourself that you're looking at non-biased stuff. And then we live tested some of the top ones that came out. We looked at, was it easy to use in terms of usability and the interface? Is it easy to integrate?
Does it work well?
Does it work well? Yeah, pricing and onboarding.
Yep.
There were also some specific requirements that we have put together, such as making sure that the summary is accurate, making sure it's easy to share, so however you currently share your minutes, whether actually it's in an email format or whether you integrate with another system. It's also good, I think, to have the option to see if it's handwritten. Like, I know some people, you know, don't want everyone to know that they're using AI. So just having that ability, having actions like really clearly defined, you know, on big long meetings, it's really good just to quickly at the top know who needs to do what and when. Making sure that in-person meetings are serviced, so you can sit there and actually record what's happening and it's not just online.
Yeah, that flexibility is super nice, so you don't have to be like, okay, now I need to go into my calendar app, set up a meeting, make sure that this, you know, software has its email added, and then da-da-da-da-da. You can just, boom, hit record on your phone, and then it will go into the system the same way as also auto-joining your online meetings.
Okay, so let's have a look at some of the output. So this will all be available for you afterwards. But we went through 8 tools and looked at them all for the requirements that we said. There were a few key ones that stood out. There are also a few that we ruled out, for reasons such as they maybe do transcript only, so maybe it's better for like an educational purpose. So one of the key ones that stood out was actually Zoom for the paid version. So if any of you are actually using the paid version, you already have access to this. And when we used it, it was easy to use and the output was pretty good. Because it was there was a few meetings where we went on, we really tested it. We went on like a few different subjects and tangents. Yeah. And managed to pull it all together into an easy digestible format. So Zoom was really, really good to work with. Fathom's an interesting one. This one, the format of the output wasn't something that myself and the research team actually liked. But when you look at independent reviews, Fathom does perform really well, and it starts with a free plan. So that's another one that you could maybe try. And then I think it's also worth going to the top to quickly talk about Fireflies.
Yes.
Fireflies also has a 7-day free trial. I think the team and myself, we like the output of this. The actions get summarized at the top, and then there's summary of the meeting comes below that. The only downside is that the download is transcript only, but you're still able to take the summary and put it straight into an email or whatever system you're using. So
yeah, it even has a setting you can have it automatically email the transcript and summary to everyone that was on the meeting.
Yeah.
So it saves time too.
Saves a lot of time. Great. Okay. Yeah. So let's have a look at that in more detail.
Yeah. So this is kind of what you'd see after you have a recording with Fireflies. So it's got some cool like AI filters. So you can see, you can filter by like the questions or tasks. It also even measures the sentiment, you know, is it negative or positive, the meeting. It has the meeting summary in the middle, as you can see, and then the transcript on the right. So this was a meeting actually I had with my sister about a project we're working on. Yeah, so this is what you get with every recording. And then they also have more AI capabilities. So you can go in here and customize the prompt. We talked about prompts earlier in the training here today. So you can go in here and actually like specifically tell the AI a bit more how you want it to behave and which AI model you want to use. So this is like the meeting outline, and here's where you can specifically talk to how you want it to, you know, if there's anything, like if you have a certain kind of meeting you have every week and there's something specific that you don't want it to summarize or you want it to make sure to include in the summary, you could give it that information here in the custom prompt.
Great.
The thing that I really like about, of course, a lot of software has this these days, but I think this is one area that it probably excels a lot above Zoom, is the integrations. So this integrates with Monday.com, for instance, and a lot of other CRMs and different sort of wiki products, these sort of things. If you're familiar with Notion, it's a great like knowledge base that you can, that has AI in it as well. So you can actually have the summary or all of the transcript from the meeting automatically get put into Notion, and then you could go in there and use AI in there to further like brainstorm on ideas or, you know, create tasks or whatever you want to do. As I mentioned, it integrates with Monday, which is the tool that we use internally for our task management, project management, CRM, all this stuff. So the way I have it set up is basically that the tasks, the AI notices when tasks are talked about in the meeting, and then I have it go into this place in Monday, and then I further evaluate. Because as I mentioned, it's good to check what the AI does. Don't just assume that it's doing the right thing, because there's so much that's left up to interpretation, right? Once you take like the very defined way that software normally works and you open everything up, then there's a lot more room for error. So it's important to just give yourself the ability to review stuff. So I have it all come in here, it creates all the tasks, and then I go in and like, you know, assign the correct person, set correct due dates, this sort of thing, just to make sure that it's correct. Just a little bit of human quality controls, important to remember to do. So the AI does the 80% and you did that important 20%, basically.
Yeah. And I think it's worth pointing out, you can use it just for the summary and sending minutes out.
Totally.
This is just giving you a little bit of extra information, how it could help you and your
Yeah.
organization even further.
Yes,
But,
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it just like out of the box, very simple.
Yeah, so don't get overwhelmed by any of this. You can just use it for minute taking if you need.
Good point.
Great, okay, so to summarize, like what do you do now?
Yep.
Define your own use cases and requirements, because there are different, everyone's different, has different preferences. If you're already paying for Zoom, then yeah, click that little button at the bottom, like see the output, give it a go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna help make your life easier. I think you'll be impressed. And then Fireflies and Fathom potentially do have 7-day free trials. So sign up and just give it a go. Like add it to your calendar, and it will just start joining the calls, and you'll get the output. And you can change them, like if there's something that you need to highlight. But yeah, just take that first little step into the jungle.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
And I think it's also cool because you can look like extra tech savvy. You can be like, Fireflies, make sure to, you know, create a task for this. And people in the meeting will be like, whoa, you're using, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm using AI. Yeah, innovation experts like told me all these cool things.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great, okay, so let's move on. Okay, so one of your other big common needs across you all was calendar management. So we followed the same methodology, looking at existing research, taking some of the top tools and then putting them to test ourselves. Great, okay, so the requirements that we looked at was just really the ability to be able to set up meetings for yourself or other people without including yourself, making sure that scheduling can easily be done. There are some tools out there that automatically reshuffles your calendar based on what focus time and things you need.
Right.
I've made the assumption that you don't want to look at your calendar and it's suddenly been all reshuffled because AI has decided something.
Yeah,
so
not so good in the workplace, actually. I think it's better for people that are maybe like solo entrepreneurs that are having a little bit of trouble time blocking, but yeah, not so relevant here.
Yeah, so I don't think. And I think what else is really key is making sure that you can book the meeting, but without necessarily needing to send emails to everyone. So the CEO has said, great, I want to meet with so-and-so next week. It's agreed. You don't have to then send out an email to everyone. You can just put it straight in.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So let's have a look at the output. So to be completely honest, myself and the research team were a little bit underwhelmed with the output of all the calendar tools. Let me talk you through why. Scheduler AI, that was a pretty good tool for setting up meetings, but it is really aimed at like salespeople as opposed to somebody that needs to manage someone else's calendar, doesn't always need to have everybody in the chain when they're sending out the meeting invites. And to be seamless and avoid duplication, they've removed the email notification of sending the invite. So it just actually just appeared in my calendar and I didn't know that it had been put there. So
yeah, that's a catch-22 for sure, because for some people that's good. They're like super on top of looking at their calendars. But as you know, some people like almost never open their calendar. They just like wait for a notification. And if it's something they're not expecting, they're probably not going to join. So it's good that they get that email also.
Yeah. I've included Clara here. It's got an external rating of 4.5. It is still in beta and it has a large price tag. So this is one to keep your eye on. But for now, it's definitely not something to try out now, especially with no free trial and it just starting at £99 a month.
We'll again, we'll keep an eye on Clara for you, and we'll let you know if it's like how it progresses and if we think it's worth taking a look at. So
yeah, I should probably point out here that G2 is a popular external review site.
yes.
That we use that really provides independent reviews. So that's why we've got this here, and that's actually something, maybe we'll put that in the resources too, so you know where to get external reviews of any tools you're looking at.
It's not AI specific, but it is kind of the most all-encompassing one. So there are, of course, AI tools on there. And yeah, it's a great place to find software and to read reviews and stuff like that.
Great.
But there's a lot on there to sift through.
Yeah. Clockwise, like what we talked about earlier, that's really good for maintaining focus, and I think more of a personal calendar management as opposed to...
This one that does that, like blocks your time and this sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's not exactly what I think would be good for you in your role. And motion was a lot more project management focused.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, confirm your own requirements. I have made some assumptions here in the requirements. So there might be things like focus management and task management that you're like, yeah, I want that in my calendar. So have a look at those tools. So to take it further, if you are interested in group scheduling, have a look at the AI demo for scheduler.ai. This was actually tested with personal assistants about a year ago, and it didn't perform very well, mainly because the email situation. I've been in touch with the co-founder of this, and so they've actually said it didn't work out well for that group, but it's gone into feature requests. So that's another one that we'll keep our eye on, and as that starts to develop to be more suitable for you, then we will let you know. If you are interested in focus management, give Clockwise a go. I should probably point out that the integration side of that was a bit of a challenge. You needed to go, it's not something you can do without getting the workspace admin.
As far as Google goes, and probably, you know, Windows as well, Teams, if you have that.
Yeah, okay. And then if task management is something that you'd like help with, then give Motion a go. You get 7 days, and so. So, in summary, I was really underwhelmed and a bit disappointed with the calendar research and what we found, because there does really seem like that what you're doing as personal assistants and executive assistants isn't really being serviced. It feels like everyone's trying to service like the sales teams and recruitment.
Yeah, this is typical, especially when you're talking about, again, emerging tech. Where the money goes, the attention flows, or however the saying goes. So you will start to see like sales teams getting, tools because they're at a high volume of everything that they're doing and whatnot, and they're generating revenue, even though it's like not necessarily a true balance of like the importance of, because everyone is super important to the organization, of course. But again, as we mentioned earlier, AI is new, so some existing tools like Calendly is apparently getting ready to roll out something AI related. So we're going to keep on top of that, of course, and let you know. And if if your organization has a big need around something like this, and it's like, again, for yourself and the whole organization, we can help you find a development team that can build custom stuff with AI. If that's something that you guys are interested in, feel free to reach out, and we can see how we can help create that referral. Get you intro to some great people.
I really wanted to be able to come to you and say this calendar tool is going to solve all your problems. Your life will be so easy after this. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that. So I thought I'd throw in a quick freebie for you. This whole presentation that you're seeing now, this wonderful anesthetic one, this is done with a tool called Gamma. It was actually, it's a recent launch where they've added this AI tool to it, and you can create beautiful presentations literally in minutes. So if you already have some text that you want or an outline, then you can pop that in and you just put it there.
And it'll create slides. You'd be like, you just put slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or whatever, put the content you want on there, and boom, it creates it. And then you can go in, use AI to improve it, do it yourself manually, whatever you want.
Yeah. If you don't have your content, you can just put in a one-line prompt and it will
Give you ideas.
Yeah, give you ideas
Generate
and write
it
it
with
for
all
you.
sorts of.
And you can change like the colors and the theme, but you don't have to fiddle with it. I can't stand like trying to get all the right side text on a slide or like changing the colors. We're busy people, right? We've got more things to do than fiddle around with fonts.
Yeah.
And then what we used for in this example is we imported a file. So we had a PowerPoint, like a rough structure with the content in, and we just popped it in, and out came this beautiful thing.
Yeah. So
yeah, hopefully you're happy with that and you can give that a go. I should probably point out that when I say freebie, Gamma isn't free, but it's not break the bank, is it?
no, they have a free version. You can get in, test it out, and then the paid one's pretty inexpensive. And I think it's a great one. Like, I'm sure there's lots of people in your organization. It's another thing where it's like you can share it with people that, in operations that do their weekly meetings or whatever it is, and be like, hey, here's this thing that can save you time. So I think it's a good one, make you look good.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So hopefully that makes up for not solving your entire problems with the calendar tool.
Yeah, but again, we will say, of course, you have your own unique use cases. Maybe there's one of these calendar tools where part of it is useful, for half the time that you need to send out an invite or something. So, of course, get in and explore it for yourself a little bit. But we've done that preliminary research to kind of save you time and give you a bit of guidance, if you do want to go in and see, you kind of already know what you're getting into.
Yeah. So this got me thinking, how can we better service PAs and EAs? I can tell you. So we're creating a dedicated service for personal assistants and executive assistants in similar roles where we deliver custom content to you. So all the information you gave us in the survey, we know what will help you, we know what you need, and this is, this deck has been created mostly on that, and now we're developing a service which can be continually updated. That means that you'll be getting the latest news that's relevant to you and your role. You'll be getting the latest tool research, and so you can really see which one can help. I think the next on the pipeline would probably be travel bookings and task management. They were really popular.
Yeah, there's some great tools for that.
Yeah, and then maybe some conversation starters as well. So when you hear those corridor conversations about AI, you can actually start those conversations or at least be involved.
Yeah.
There'll also be information for the company. So if there's something that that's a common need, such as helping with the onboarding process or some type of customer service, we'll pop some information in there too, so you can help make a difference in your company that way.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, make you look really good. Okay. So what's the best bit of this? This is free for you. So there's the link at the bottom. You can sign up. That will also lead you to all the resources and everything we've spoken through today. And we'll be asking for your feedback as well. We'll be providing a short survey so you can help really shape the future of AI for PAs. Great. Okay. So today we've talked you through how to increase your confidence. We've given you a bit more in general knowledge. We've shown you where you can find AI tools, and then we've surfaced some specific tools to you. And then finally, we've given you a way how you continually learn and evolve and be part of that future.
Yeah, wonderful.
Whew. That's a lot. Okay, so what's next? So sign up for the PA service. We welcome your feedback. You are a really important part of this. So yeah, join us and let's really shape that future.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. We hope that, you get a sense of how AI can make your life easier, and hopefully you get a feeling that, you're gonna be able to use it, help you excel, help you get rid of some of, take some of the workload of all those repetitive tasks, so you can focus a little bit more on, the human interaction and with the people around you in your workplace.
Yeah, I think it's important, don't let fear freeze you. We've now given you what you need to just make some baby steps. So yeah, let's enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was amazing. I've learned lots from that. Have you, John?
Absolutely, and I feel a lot less apprehensive about the whole AI thing now.
I think that's it though, isn't it? It's a fear because it's the unknown, and we all need to embrace it and start using it. And you've shown us in that session that it's not as difficult as we think it is, and just starting to learn it, it's that process, isn't it? And I know that you have lots more resources, so do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, just touching on what you just said, the jungle gets a lot less scary if you take baby steps in it, right? Yeah, resources wise, if you click on the link below, that will take you to a sign-in page for the PA service, and you'll have everything that we've spoken about in there, as well as access to all the different content. So click there, and then we're also available for chats in the chat on the side.
We also offer consulting for the whole business, so we can come in and have a meeting and have a look at the business as a whole and see where AI could integrate into all the different sections of the business, and like get you streamlined, save everybody time, and then we can concentrate on the things that we need to, right? Life's too busy.
So you
Yeah.
can implement it so the PAs can save, and the businesses can save time and money, and catch up with the world, I guess, because it's moving at a very quick pace.
It certainly is.
Fantastic. So they can come to you and ask any questions, whether it's about their own training, or implementing it in their companies, and you have lots of ideas and lots of resources there to be seen. So do sign up in the link below, pop your email in, and innovation experts will be there for you.
Fantastic.
I think on that note, just got to say thank you.
Thank you, Harriet, Dan, Matthew. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to all the PAs who have joined us too, and we'll see you at the next PA Hub Digital event soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you
Bye.
later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.